Hello, friends. How are you doing today? Really? How are you? My name is Kirsty, and this is It Expired? Here is my disclaimer as always. Please don't use expired makeup. I know what the potential consequences could be. I'm taking the risk for myself. I am my own guinea pig. Please don't do as I do. With that, the reason I'm doing this is I have been hoarding makeup for 12 years now, and my collection has gotten out of hand. Things get neglected. So I've put every single product into a spreadsheet. I use a random number generator. I pick 5 items, and I try to use them for the week. Before putting them on my face, I check for the consistency, the texture, I smell them, I do patch tests, and then I go ahead, use the product, and I check performance. If those things are all still feeling fine, doing fine, no issues, I'm going to keep that product. I'm going to try and get some use on it organically. That's the game plan. And if not, of course, they do get decluttered. It does happen. Things do go bad. With that, let's just jump right on back to last week. See the items. I think I did get one photo, better than none, right? And then just move right along to this week. Let's get started here with my Shady Cosmetics Loose Pigment, which is open. Let me just close that so I don't make a huge mess, in the shade 33. This is just a beautiful white pigment. It's a glitter, it's got a sparkle, it's very, very beautiful. If you utilize a eyelid glue, a primer glue, you can really layer it and pack a punch. Or you can do it a little more diffused and just apply it by itself. No, why do I keep wanting to say, is it glitter glue? Glitter glue. Yeah, I don't know. My brain was thinking it, but it was like my mouth didn't want to say it. Something wasn't adding up. But if you don't use a glitter glue and you kind of just use it as it is, it's much more diffused. It's very beautiful. It's almost reminiscent of like the Urban Decay Moon Dust shadows with just a beautiful sparkle. So I really enjoyed using this for the week. It is like 12 years old, but I have no issues. It's a pigment, so I'm not even really sure what might go bad, but as of now, no issues, no reactions, no complaints, so it's going home. Next here I have my Urban Decay Matte Temper Lipstick. It is just a beautiful matte burnt orange color. Loved using this. Definitely used it as both a lipstick and a cream blush a few times. This is super duper old. I want to say it's about 10 years old, so yeah, I know we're weary. It's gross to think about, but there's no weird scent. The actual lipstick in itself is in gorgeous shape. There's no disintegrating happening. It's still in the component fine. So I feel like this lipstick is still totally fine, which means it's going to go home, and I'm going to keep trying to get some more use on it. Next here, I have my SheGlam The Glitz List highlight. I really like this. It's super cute. It's got a little snowflake in it. This is about 4 years old. Did technically expire last month, but let's be real. It's staying here. It's fine. I'm gonna keep using it. I'm not going by that date. It's not happening. It's not who I am. We know better. Next here, I have my Stila Lip Glaze in the shade Glamour. This is a little bit of a darker of the lip glazes, and I find that I don't go through these ones as quickly, but I know that I'm going to be able to use it up. That's my game plan for 2025. I want to get rid of some of these organically. I've already gotten 2 out of my collection. My goal is to hopefully be down to half, because they are 9-ish years old, and they need to go. They're at the point that they still smell fine, they still work fine. They're not my favorite gloss formula as is. Like, it's very, very sticky, and if you get your hair anywhere near it, you're gonna have lip gloss in strands all over your face. Already fixed that once today. If you notice any, it's because I'm wearing another one of these, and yeah. Anyway, not my favorite lip gloss formula, but because I have them, and because they are so incredibly old, I would like to get rid of them organically instead of just chucking them. So here's hoping that I can get rid of just a few more of these moving forward. And last year for the week, while I'm talking about this, I will put up the one lonely photo. This is my Sephora Collection Colorful Blush in the shade Flirt It Up. This is probably 9 years old. It's pretty. It's, I don't know, pink. Man, it's a pink blush. Do I have 48 other pink blushes? Absolutely. So, I don't know. It's not outstanding. It is old. like I said, about 9 years old. But I didn't open it till about a year or two ago, if that. It was still in the wrapping, I think, till about a year ago. So I hadn't even touched it. And because of that, I feel like it's fine. There's no weirdness happening with this. It's fine. So it's gonna go home, and I'm gonna try and get more use on it. But yeah, it's just a pink blush, like so many others in my collection. I'm at a point where I'm not even like wanting to purchase things because I know I have 8 to 10 of the exact same thing in my collection. I'm at that point, which is really sad to me because makeup makes me so happy, and trying new things makes me happy, but maybe it's just due to the fact that I'm working so much and I'm not at home anymore and I'm doing very basic looks when I'm going into the office. I'm not as inspired as I usually am, and maybe I'm just in a funk. That's also very possible. I do kind of like go through those here and there, ups and downs, and maybe I'll get back to the point where I just want to buy makeup for the sake of buying makeup. And I know it's terrible because I know I have a ton, and maybe it's good that I'm in this funk right now of not wanting to purchase makeup because I'm able to use things up. I'm at a point where I'm using up like between 2 and 4 makeup items a week. A week, guys. Like, that's amazing. It's mostly lip products, which is fine. Those still have to get out of my collection. I wonder if the mic picked that up. My wrist just snapped. It's fine. I am in my 30s and very fragile, apparently. But that's where I'm at. I'm not even wanting to bring in items, which is kind of sad to me. But it is what it is. It's allowing me to get a bunch of stuff out without replacing it right now. I will in the future, let's be honest. I'll go back to my high of being inspired and happy and excited, and we'll get there, friends. We'll get there. Moving on. Okie dokie. Let's move on to this week. What I've got going on. Again, I feel like it's very basic, very boring, and I'm mad at myself for not bringing in more fun stuff as companions. I was even thinking to myself as I was doing my eyeliner today, oh shoot, I should have done a double liner with a hydro liner, and I didn't. So I'm hoping that I push myself to do stuff like that, even going to the office. Honestly, it's just a double liner. No one's really going to notice unless they're real up close and personal, and then they need to get the hell out of my personal space. You know? So, okay, let's move on. This is my Cover FX Power Play Foundation in the shade L2. This I had just gotten at the beginning of 2024, so very new. I had never even used it. Again, one of those. And it's more of a skin tint than a foundation, I would say. It's very, very light coverage. But my skin is doing really well, so I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't feel like I have a lot of redness showing, or I don't really have any blemishes going on, so I don't really have a lot to cover right now except redness. That's my big thing because winter is coming and my skin is so dry, so my skin's very red. But it covers that as best as a skin tint would. And then, with the addition of my finishing powder and my bronzer and my blush and whatever else, it all comes together really nicely. So I am excited to use this for the week, especially since it's gotten zero love at this point, but it's new to my collection. 8 months is new in this household. You know what I'm saying? It's new, it's fresh. So I'm excited to use this. I think it's really pretty. I think the finish is really nice, and yeah, it's a nice option for a lighter coverage foundation. Next, we have yet another Stila lip glaze. Oh my gosh. I am aware there are too many of these, 9 or 10 years old. Okay, this is in the shade Glow, and because it is like a very neutral color, this is probably going to be one of the next ones that I just throw in my purse to use up and get rid of. Something that I can always put on top of any other lip because there's not a lot of pigment to it. It's so neutral that I could wear it every day. I could put it on 6 times a day if I need to reapply and not worry about what's underneath, because sometimes the darker ones just don't complement the lip I have on in the first place. This one, it will complement anything. So it's gonna go in my bag and I'm gonna get rid of it. Probably not this week. There's a lot left, but I think, you know what? I think I can do this in 2024. I've got pretty much 2 full months here. I think I can get rid of this. Next here, I have my Model's Own Sculpt and Glow Liquid Highlighter. From my understanding, Model's Own either isn't a company anymore or it's only available in the UK because it is a UK owned brand. And I think, at least, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think it's available in North America anymore, but I'm not 100% sure. I used to see it at Winners here and there. I don't even know where you could get it aside from like Winners prior, but that's where I've always gotten my Model Zone stuff from. I only have a couple things. This is in the shade Lustre 03. It's technically a highlight, but I use it as a very glowy bronzer underneath as a cream bronzer. Yep. Brain not communicate. It's fine. It's very, very pretty. It's a little warm for my skin. I do have quite cool undertone, so it's almost a little too orange for me. I don't know if you can see it. Like, it's definitely pulling quite warm on me, which is fine when you kind of do it as an underneath warm. That's what I'm looking for, right? I want a little bit of warmth to the skin. You just kind of have to be light-handed with it, or suddenly it's going to be orange. Dependent on your skin tone, right? But I do like it. Now that I know how to use it, obviously I've gotten a ton of use on it in the last, how old are you? Maybe 5 years old? I've gotten quite a bit of use. It's about half full at this point. So I've learned how I like to use it, and it is something that I know I will eventually use up. I actually have gone through quite a few liquid bronzers, which is surprising, like liquid and creams. I don't know why, but it's something that I actually use up quite often. Maybe it's because I don't have a ton of them. I've got a handful. So I'm excited to use this. I think it's been a little neglected in the last year or so, so time to bring it out, time to get some use, time to bring some more warmth to the skin. And then here is my e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil in the shade, neutral brown. So I think this came in a dual pack, and I have used up the other one, and I don't like this. I don't enjoy it. These are not that old. They're maybe 2 years old. And like I said, I've already gone through one, so I know I'll be able to use it up. It's just, I have to pair it with other products. I can't just use it on its own. And the reason for that is just, I don't like the color. It's not pigmented enough unless you go heavy-handed, and then it just looks thick and cakey. So it's not a product that I love. I do go light-handed with it. I essentially define my brows a little bit, and then I'll go in with something a little bit darker just to give them a little more oomph where I need them. Because yes, I'm blonde. I don't want super dark brows, but I have a lot of hair. They're just even lighter than, well, they're probably actually like this color naturally. So I do like to give them a bit of color so that they don't just blend into my face, and this doesn't do enough on its own. So don't love this, but I will eventually use it up, and I know that. I just have to pair it with other things, which is kind of a bummer for me, because if I'm using a pencil, I want it to be like a one and done. This is not that option for me. If you like really light brows, not a lot of product, if you don't need a lot of product in your brows, this is probably great for you. But myself, I do need quite a bit of pigment added to make them where I want them to be. I feel like I rambled a lot there, and I don't even know if my point was made, but we're gonna move on. We've got another one of these too. Okay, this is my Makeup Revolution, I Heart Makeup, Cult of Revolution, Chocolate Love palette. Again, this came in one of the Christmas sets, so it's, what are we at? Maybe 6 years old? I think like 5 and 6 years. I got them twice in a row, but I don't know which came in which. So it's either 5 or 6 years old. It has gotten actually quite a bit of love in that 5 or 6 years. As you can see, like, there's dents in a few of the shades. So I have used it, for sure, which is great. Love that. There's no pan happening, but it's a really, really pretty palette. The shades are nice. They're soft. They're silky. They're blendable. I like them. I do like them for what they are. It's just a very easy palette, especially like work-wise. It's going to be fantastic. I don't know. Nothing else to say. I have no issue with these shadows. They blend really nicely. Are they the best quality out there? Absolutely not. I'm sorry to say. That's just how it is. But for the price point, I give this palette a 7 out of 10. I like it for what it is. They're soft, they're natural, they blend. I don't have to fight with them, but they're not incredibly pigmented. They don't have duochromes or multichromes. They're not the shimmers are not going to blow you out of the water or anything, but for just a soft natural palette, I do like these. 7 out of 10. It's fine. So yeah, 5 or 6 years old. I don't know. I feel like that's not even that old in my collection either. That's like a toddler in my collection at this point. I have a problem. I don't like throwing away just for the sake of throwing things away because they're at a certain age. Don't get me wrong, I will if something is weird, but otherwise I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna try. I want to play with things. I want to get more love to what I already have. And I think that's another reason why I'm not wanting to buy more, is because this project is really opening my eyes to how freaking much I own, which is great. And I'm also getting rid of things organically, which is great. And I'm finding things that are expired and decluttering them, also great. There's a lot of good things happening in this project, and it makes me really happy. It's just, I want my inspiration back. I want the love for the color and for the fun and just the wild creativity. I want that back. And it will come back. It's just office life, man. It is what it is. But with that, that's everything. Have yourselves a wonderful day, evening, weekend, journey, and I will see you all next time.